Let me tell you something. When he contacts you, you've got a choice. And the mistake you make in that moment can change the entire course of your life. You've got to understand something fundamental. You are worth more than the way he's reaching out to you right now. Don't let anyone, no matter how smooth, how charming, or how persuasive, make you forget that. When he contacts you, the first thing you need to do is recognize your own value. You have to understand that you don't need to chase anyone. You are already worthy of the respect, love, and care you desire. So don't settle for anything less than what you know you deserve. If he contacts you and starts with games or confusion or mixed signals, don't chase him. Don't make the mistake of thinking his attention, no matter how small, is something you should cling to. You're not some prize to be won by whoever makes the right move. You're the one with the power in that moment. The second thing you can't do is rush the process. Listen, I get it. Sometimes you're excited, you're looking for connection, and when he reaches out, there's that little spark inside you that wants to dive in head first. But here's the truth. Don't rush it. You've got time. You don't need to jump into anything before you really know who this person is. People show you who they are over time, not in the first few messages or conversations. So don't get swept up in the excitement and rush into something that's not ready. Take your time. Get to know who he truly is, not just the version he's presenting in that first contact. When you rush, you miss the signs. And those signs, my friends, are the key to protecting your heart and your peace of mind. Now, when he reaches out, words are going to fly. He's going to tell you all the things you want to hear, all the things that make your heart flutter. But let me tell you this, trust actions, not words. Words are easy. Anybody can say what sounds good, especially when they're trying to impress you or get something from you. But you know what shows who a person really is? What they do. Watch how he treats you when it's not convenient, when it's hard, or when there's nothing to gain. Actions tell you everything you need to know about someone. Don't get caught up in the promises, in the sweet talk, in the fantasy. What's he showing you in his actions? That's the truth. Always trust that over anything he says. Boundaries. Listen to me carefully. Know your boundaries, and don't you ever compromise them. This is where a lot of people make the mistake. Either they don't set boundaries at all, or they set them but let others violate them. Respect starts with you respecting yourself. If you allow someone to treat you a certain way, if you let them cross lines, then you are telling them it's okay. But if you make it clear from the start what you will and will not tolerate, you give yourself the power, and that's what you deserve, to be treated with respect. Know when to walk away, know when to stand firm. And don't let anyone come into your life and take your peace or your power without a fight. Finally, don't make the mistake of compromising your standards just because you're excited or lonely. This is where a lot of people get caught up, thinking, well, maybe I can overlook that red flag or that behavior because he's saying the right things. No. Don't lower your standards for anyone. Ever. If you have certain expectations for how you want to be treated, how you want to be loved, and how you want to be respected, don't you dare compromise those things just to avoid being alone or to gain someone's attention. People will show you who they are, and if you ignore the signs, you are settling for less than you deserve. Don't do it. Keep your standards high and hold them. If he's the right one, he'll meet them. And if not, you'll walk away knowing that you deserve better. So when he contacts you, remember, you don't have to rush, you don't have to settle, and you don't have to compromise your worth. You've got the power to decide what happens next. Don't make the mistake of thinking that anyone has the power to define your value. You already know who you are. Don't make that mistake. Keep your standards high, protect your heart, and remember that the right person will treat you with the respect, love, and care that you deserve. Recognizing your worth is one of the most transformative things you can do for yourself. It's about understanding that you are deserving of all the good things life has to offer, not because of what you can do for others, but simply because of who you are. So many of us go through life second-guessing ourselves, doubting our abilities, and putting others before ourselves. We get caught up in seeking validation from the outside world, whether it's from our work, relationships, or social circles. But here's the truth. You are already enough, just as you are. You don't need to prove anything to anyone, least of all yourself. You have a right to be you and all you are. Recognizing your worth means understanding that you don't have to wait for someone else to tell you that you matter. You have to tell yourself first. It's about knowing that your value doesn't come from external achievements or the approval of others. It comes from within, from the fact that you are unique, irreplaceable, and deserving of respect and love just by being you. You've got to understand that your worth is not defined by the mistakes you've made, the times you've fallen short, or the moments when things haven't gone the way you planned. It's not about being perfect. It's about embracing yourself, flaws and all. Those challenges and missteps are part of your story, and they've made you who you are today. Recognizing your worth is about owning your story, being proud of how far you've come, and trusting that you are constantly evolving into the person you're meant to be. When you recognize your worth, you start setting boundaries that honor your needs. You stop tolerating things that don't serve you, whether it's unhealthy relationships, toxic environments, or situations that drain your energy. You understand that your time, your energy, and your peace are valuable, and you won't let anyone or anything compromise them. When you start recognizing your worth, you stop settling for less than what you deserve. You begin to attract what you believe you deserve, whether it's love, success, or respect. You start demanding the best for yourself, and in return, you receive the best. Recognizing your worth also means being able to stand in your power, even when it feels uncomfortable. It means speaking up for yourself, advocating for your needs, and not allowing anyone to diminish your light. So often we shrink back, we second guess ourselves, or we allow people to walk all over us because we fear confrontation or rejection. But when you know your worth, you can hold your ground without being aggressive, without seeking approval, or without fear. You speak your truth because you know you deserve to be heard and respected. Now, I've used that phrase so many times. The more you respect and honor yourself, the more you respect and honor others. Once you recognize your worth, you start treating yourself differently. You take care of your mind, body, and soul because you understand that self-care is not selfish, it's necessary. You start making choices that align with your values and goals, not based on the expectations of others, but based on what feels right for you. You pursue your dreams with confidence because you know that you're worthy of success. You stop doubting yourself and you start trusting your instincts. You believe in your potential even when others don't see it. Ultimately, recognizing your worth is a journey. It's not something that happens overnight, and it's something you'll need to remind yourself of regularly. Life will challenge you. People will test you, and situations will try to make you feel small or insignificant. But every time that happens, you have to remember who you are. You have to remind yourself that you are worthy of love, respect, success, and happiness, regardless of your past, your failures, or your imperfections. You have the power to shape your own destiny, and when you truly recognize your worth, you give yourself the freedom to live a life that reflects your true potential. You are enough. You've always been enough. And once you recognize that, nothing and no one can take that truth away from you. Don't rush the process. We live in a world where everything is moving at lightning speed. Instant messages, fast food, quick fixes, and immediate results. It's easy to get caught up in that mentality, thinking that if we don't make things happen right now, we'll miss our chance. But the truth is, some of the best things in life take time. Rushing through the process can lead to mistakes, missed opportunities, and a sense of regret that you didn't fully appreciate the journey. When you rush, you skip over the important steps. The steps that allow you to truly understand the situation, the people involved, and most importantly, yourself. Life is not a race, and neither are relationships, career paths, or personal growth. These things require time, patience, and persistence. Whether it's a new relationship, a new career, or a personal goal you're working towards, rushing doesn't make you reach the finish line any faster. In fact, it can cause you to miss the lessons that are meant to be learned along the way. Every step you take, every experience you have, is an opportunity for growth, for understanding, and for becoming the person you are meant to be. We often think that moving quickly will give us the results we want, but in reality, it often leads to burnout or dissatisfaction. The best decisions and the most meaningful experiences come from being present in the moment, taking your time, and allowing things to unfold as they are meant to. When you rush, you may find yourself pushing for something that isn't right for you, or trying to force an outcome that doesn't align with your true desires. Patience doesn't mean sitting still and doing nothing. It means allowing yourself to be open to the process, trusting that the right opportunities will come at the right time, and having the wisdom to recognize that sometimes waiting is the best action you can take. When it comes to relationships, rushing can be particularly damaging. Whether it's a new friendship, a romantic relationship, or a professional connection, rushing to fast-track the relationship can cause misunderstandings, unmet expectations, or the masking of true personalities. Time allows you to truly get to know someone, their values, their actions, and how they treat others. It's only with time that you can truly see if a relationship is built on a solid foundation. The pressure to rush things can often cloud your judgment and lead you to make decisions based on excitement or immediate gratification instead of long-term compatibility. When you rush into a relationship without taking the time to build trust and understanding, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. But when you let things develop at their own pace, you give the relationship the space it needs to flourish naturally. On the flip side, when you're working toward a goal, whether it's career, a personal project, or self-improvement, rushing can cause you to skip over important details, cut corners, or make compromises that can hurt you in the long run. Success doesn't happen overnight. It takes dedication, persistence, and a willingness to do the work, even when it feels like it's taking forever. Rushing may give you quick results, but those results are rarely sustainable. True success comes from building a strong foundation, learning from your failures, celebrating your small victories, and taking each step one at a time. When you rush, you don't give yourself the opportunity to build that foundation. But when you allow yourself the grace to move at your own pace, you're setting yourself up for lasting success. In life, the most important things take time. The relationships that truly matter, the success that feels earned, and the personal growth that leaves you with a deep sense of fulfillment, they all come from patience, persistence, and time. Don't rush the process. Embrace it. Trust that the right things will come to you when the time is right. Allow yourself to experience every step and understand that there's beauty in the journey, not just in the destination. Trusting actions, not words, is one of the most important lessons you can learn in life. We live in a world where words are easy to come by. People can tell you anything, express their deepest feelings, make big promises, or give you their best intentions. But words alone don't mean anything until they're backed up by actions. Talk is cheap. It's easy to say the right thing in the moment, but it's the actions that reveal the true character of a person. If someone tells you they care, but their actions consistently show otherwise, you have to trust the reality of the situation, not the empty promises. When someone shows you who they are through their actions, they are revealing the truth of who they are, regardless of what they say. Actions can't be faked in the same way words can. You can say all the right things to someone, but your actions will always speak louder. It's in the little things, the way someone treats you when there's no audience, the effort they put into supporting you when it's inconvenient, or the way they handle difficult situations. It's easy to say things when everything is going well, but when life gets tough, that's when you see the true measure of someone's intentions. It's also important to recognize that people can show you a side of themselves that sounds good on paper, but if their actions don't align with those words, they're not really showing you the truth. You may hear someone talk about love, loyalty, or respect, but their actions might reflect something different. Words can be seductive, especially when they tell you what you want to hear. But if you look closely at their behavior over time, you'll see if they really mean it. Someone can tell you they love you every day, But if their actions consistently disregard your feelings, boundaries, or needs, then the truth is in the behavior, not in the words. Marriage. The beauty of trusting actions is that it sets a standard for how you allow people to treat you. When you know that actions are the true measure of someone's sincerity, you stop holding on to empty promises or flattering words. You start demanding more than just talk. You demand respect, effort, and consistency. You begin to understand that anyone who is truly invested in you will show it through their actions. They'll make time for you, they'll support you, and they'll stand by their word. Their actions will match what they say, not just in the good times, but also when it's difficult. And if you have any issues with teammates, moreover, trusting actions allows you to protect yourself from disappointment. Too often we ignore red flags or overlook inconsistencies because we're drawn to the words, the promises, or the idea of what we want someone to be. But when you pay attention to what people do, not just what they say, you can avoid putting yourself in situations where you're constantly hoping for change. If someone repeatedly says they'll change or do something, but their actions tell you otherwise, then that's the real message. Trusting actions gives you the clarity to see when something is not aligning with your needs and values, and it empowers you to make the necessary changes to protect your peace. In relationships, trust is the foundation, and trust is built on actions. Anyone can speak words of affection, admiration, or commitment, but it's the way they act that demonstrates how real that commitment is. A person who says they value you but doesn't prioritize your feelings, doesn't make an effort to be present, or doesn't follow through on their promises is showing you who they really are. Your job is to trust that reality, not the false narrative they may try to sell you. Actions show the truth, and the truth is what matters most in any relationship. At the end of the day, trusting actions over words is about protecting your own integrity. It's about understanding that you deserve more than just good intentions and sweet words. You deserve consistency, respect, and a love that is demonstrated through effort, not just spoken through promises. When you learn to trust actions, you stop giving people the benefit of the doubt when their behavior doesn't match their words. You stop allowing yourself to be swayed by what's easy to say, and you start focusing on what's real. When someone shows you who they are through their actions, trust that. And let that be the guiding force in how you choose to move forward. Trust actions, not words. Because actions are the truth, and the truth is what will set you free. Setting clear boundaries is essential for maintaining your mental, emotional, and physical well-being. Boundaries are not just about creating space between yourself and others. They are about protecting your peace, preserving your sense of self, and ensuring that your needs are respected. Too often, we neglect to set boundaries because we fear rejection, confrontation, or the idea of disappointing others. But the truth is, setting boundaries is an act of self-respect. It's a way of saying I value myself and I'm not willing to compromise my well-being for anyone. When you set boundaries, you are giving others the roadmap for how to treat you. You are showing the world what you will and won't accept, and you're making it clear that your time, energy, and emotions are precious. Boundaries aren't walls that keep people out. They are simply guidelines that allow you to maintain your integrity while interacting with others. Whether it's in a relationship, at work, or with friends and family, you have the right to establish limits that preserve your peace and help you thrive. The problem often lies in the fear of being seen as selfish or demanding. We're taught to be accommodating, to put others' needs before our own, and to avoid rocking the boat. But in doing so, we can lose ourselves in the process. By not setting clear boundaries, we open ourselves up to being taken advantage of, manipulated, or drained emotionally. People may not always have bad intentions, but if you don't make your limits known, they can inadvertently overstep or expect more than you're willing to give. Without boundaries, you end up neglecting your own needs, which eventually leads to frustration, resentment, and burnout. Setting clear boundaries means being honest with yourself about what you can and cannot tolerate. It requires self-awareness and a willingness to be firm in your decisions. It's about knowing your limits. What makes you feel uncomfortable? What drains your energy? And what compromises your values? Once you have that awareness, it's your responsibility to communicate it to others. Boundaries are not about controlling others. They're about taking control of your own life and ensuring that you are not giving more than you can handle. When you communicate your boundaries clearly, you teach others how to treat you with the respect and care you deserve. When you set boundaries, you also create space for healthier, more balanced relationships. Healthy relationships are built on mutual respect, understanding, and communication. If you constantly ignore your own needs or sacrifice your comfort for the sake of others, you're doing yourself and them a disservice. By clearly defining what is acceptable and what is not, you create an environment where people can relate to you honestly and with more awareness. Relationships are most fulfilling when both parties feel heard, respected, and valued. By setting boundaries, you create that foundation of respect and make it easier for others to engage with you in ways that honor your needs. However, setting boundaries isn't always easy. There may be moments when people push back, challenge your limits, or try to manipulate you into compromising. But in those moments, remember that your boundaries are your right. It's okay to say no when you need to, even if it's uncomfortable. It's okay to take a step back when you need to recharge. Setting boundaries requires courage, especially when it feels like you might be letting others down or creating distance. But the truth is, you're not letting anyone down. You're teaching them how to treat you with the same respect you give to yourself. Okay? Believe me, that's hard to. Once you set clear boundaries, it's important to follow through. Consistency is key. People will respect your boundaries when they see that you are firm in your decisions and unwilling to compromise them. It's easy to let things slide once in a while, but if you let your boundaries be flexible or fluid, people will begin to test them. To keep your peace intact, you need to stand by your decisions even when it's challenging. The more you practice setting and enforcing boundaries, the easier it becomes. Over time, you'll feel more empowered and at ease knowing that you're taking care of yourself first. And that's what allows you to give the best of yourself to others. Ultimately, setting clear boundaries is about taking responsibility for your life and your happiness. It's about knowing that you have the power to protect your time, your energy, and your well-being. Boundaries are not a sign of weakness. They are a sign of strength. They show that you value yourself enough to stand up for what's right for you. And in doing so, you show others how to honor and respect your needs. Boundaries are essential for creating the space you need to thrive, to live authentically, and to build relationships that are based on mutual respect. When you set them, you're not just protecting your peace, you're also paving the way for a life that is full of love, respect, and fulfillment, even if that means making peace with others who would offend you. Don't compromise your standards. This is a principle that, once fully embraced, can radically change the way you experience life and relationships. It's easy to let circumstances, feelings, or even pressure from others convince you that lowering your standards is the right thing to do in the moment. But the reality is, when you compromise your standards, you're not just compromising your expectations. You're compromising your self-worth, your peace, and your future. Standards aren't just guidelines. They're a reflection of your values, your self-respect, and the way you want to experience the world. Every time you settle for less than you deserve, you're sending a message to the universe, to the people around you, and to yourself that you're not worthy of the best. But let me tell you something. You are worthy. You are worthy of respect, love, success, and all the good things life has to offer. Your standards are not arbitrary. They're rooted in the recognition of your own value. When you compromise them, you're telling yourself that you don't believe in your own worth. And when you don't believe in yourself, it's almost impossible for others to see that worth in you. Compromising your standards can show up in many areas of your life, whether it's in relationships, career choices, or personal goals. In relationships, it often happens when you settle for behavior that doesn't align with your values because you're afraid of being alone, or because you feel like you've invested too much to walk away. You may find yourself tolerating disrespect, dishonesty, or selfishness because you don't want to let go of the person or the situation, even though deep down you know it's not right for you. But when you compromise your standards in a relationship, you allow that person or situation to shape your life in a way that diminishes your happiness and growth. You teach others that you can be treated poorly and still stay, but you deserve better than that in your career. Compromising your standards can show up when you accept a job or a position that doesn't align with your talents, values, or goals, just because it's available or because it offers temporary comfort or validation. You may settle for a toxic work environment or low compensation because you're afraid of taking risks or challenging the status quo. But when you do this, you deny yourself the opportunity to do meaningful work, to grow, and to be fulfilled. You don't have to compromise your standards to survive. In fact, the more you stick to your values and pursue your true passions, the more success and fulfillment you will find. Your standards should guide your choices, not just help you settle for what's easy or comfortable. When it comes to personal growth, compromising your standards can manifest in the way you treat yourself. You might allow bad habits, negative self-talk, or unhealthy patterns to persist because changing feels hard or uncomfortable. You may tell yourself that it's not worth the effort, or that you don't deserve to prioritize your health, your goals, or your happiness. But here's the truth. You do deserve it. Your standards are meant to lift you up, to push you to be the best version of yourself, and to encourage you to take action toward your dreams. Compromising them means you're letting go of your own potential. Don't ever make the mistake of thinking that you can't reach your highest potential. You can. You just need to hold yourself accountable to the standards that reflect the life you want to create. Compromising your standards is often tied to fear of rejection, fear of failure, or fear of not being good enough. But what you have to realize is that compromising your standards for the sake of avoiding fear will only bring you long-term dissatisfaction. It may seem like the easy way out in the moment, but in the long run, you'll regret not holding yourself to the level you know you're capable of. When you hold yourself to high standards, it doesn't mean that you won't face difficulties or make mistakes. It means that you're committed to doing the work, to growing, and to not settling for anything less than the life you are truly meant to live. The key to not compromising your standards is to recognize that you are the one in control of what you allow into your life. You are the one who sets the tone for how people treat you, the opportunities you accept, and the way you engage with your own personal development. When you stay true to your standards, you teach the world how to treat you. You also give yourself the opportunity to step into a life that is aligned with your deepest desires and aspirations. Remember, standards are not about perfection. They're about consistency, integrity, and honoring who you are at your core. When you refuse to compromise them, you are choosing a life that is authentic, meaningful, and fulfilling. You are worth every effort it takes to protect your standards. So don't ever let anyone or anything convince you to settle for less than you deserve. Stand firm, trust in yourself, and know that when you hold on to your standards, you're creating the foundation for a life that reflects your true value and your highest potential. In conclusion, never underestimate the power of setting and maintaining your standards. They are a reflection of your self-respect, your values, and your vision for the life you want to create. When you refuse to compromise them, you not only protect your peace and well-being, but you also empower yourself to attract what you truly deserve: relationships that uplift you, opportunities that align with your goals, and a life that reflects your full potential. The path to a fulfilling and authentic life starts with knowing your worth and standing firm in what you will and will not tolerate. Don't let fear, external pressures, or the desire for instant gratification sway you from your true course. Trust that when you honor your standards, the universe will respond in kind, opening doors and bringing you the right people, the right opportunities, and the right experiences. Remember, you are worthy of the best, and when you hold yourself to high standards, you teach the world to do the same. So stand tall, stay true. yourself and never settle for anything less than what you truly deserve.